Welcome back everyone to another exciting episode. So, we're back in the land of lewd gaming, once again testing my patience with a game called Metamomenta, or Metamomenta, however the hell you pronounce it. Basically another Metroid-like game with, well, frustrating engines that is surprisingly not made in the Pixel Game Maker MV engine. Now, keep in mind, if you know, you know. So, enough talk, let's just dive right on in. And if you're wondering about the discussion piece, I'm still working on it. It's just that we just have some time difficulties, let's just say that. So, the story is rather simple. You are a kind of a bot that has been sent to find a scientist and see what the hell is going on as well. See, a pretty simple story. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, the presentations, it's pretty good. The game uses the Unity engine, and it uses it pretty alright. The pixel work is alright, with OG Metroid character sprites with some Super Metroid backgrounds. The CGs are pretty good looking, and the music is very atmospheric, but leans a little bit more on the video game action side with the beats as well. The sound design is actually pretty alright. Missiles sound good, the beam weapons sound alright, and yeah. But if you are a regular of this show, you would have known by now, looks are deceiving. This game is easily one of the most frustrating non-Pixel Game Maker MV games that I have ever played in my near 4 years of reviewing games. Yes, even games like Seed of the Dead, Luna Combat, and Sokrova, which I will compare it to at times, has this beat. In fact, if there was a contest, if this game would frustrate me, this game would win 3 years in a row. I am not joking. And the sad part is, it doesn't really have to be this way. The controls were mostly responsive. There were a few times where I magically lost my jump. I did press the jump button, or another thing was like I overshoot my jump because the controls are a bit on the slippery side, or she went undergo Simon Belmont's disease slightly. Also, when you start moving and shooting, specifically when you try to move to the other side, you walk backwards, which is kind of useless, I'm not gonna lie to you. And yes, there was times where it has fucked me. Next are the enemies. Dear God, these enemies are such damage sponges. Like, and while we're at it, we also have a bunch of cheap enemy placements. Thank God that missiles, because the missiles in this game are actually pretty powerful. The beam weapons just outright suck. Yes, all of them. Like, if you want to, like, if you're having trouble with a particular enemy, missiles are your best friend. But keep in mind, you may want to use them sparingly because, well, this game is quite the stingy bitch when it comes to both health and missile pickups. I am not joking. And the bosses. They often push my shit in because a lot of the times their attacks often outlast your movements or your jumping abilities. I am not joking. Or sometimes they just get to your ever so slightly small hitbox. So it's like even a single pixel is hit, you're taking damage. And when they constantly push your shit in 10 times in a row, when you finally kill them, there's no real sense of accomplishment. There's no fist pumps, there's no yells of excitement or victory. It's just a sigh of relief that the whole ordeal is over. It's a similar thing where you just get a normal power up, for example, the high jump boots. I had to do this thing 10 times in order to get it right. And it's just like you get it right or you don't. And keep in mind, there's a special jump that you can do that you have to get later on. It's just not fun. You see, with games such as Sokrova or hell, any other Metroid-like, it gave you the opportunity of either one, having the enemies have some form of breathing room, or two, allowed you to properly get the power up at your own leisure. And keep in mind, let's also compare it to Alien Quest Eve. When it comes to that kind of stuff, you could basically were free to explore to your own heart's content as long as you had the power up. But here's the thing, There were other ways that you could explore if you didn't have to power up too. And when it comes to enemies, they were unfair, but guess what? You could also really be unfair back. And sometimes in this game, you really couldn't be unfair back, especially when you get to the more other enemies that don't even need to be in your general line of sight to kill you. And like I said, the beam weapons suck, and the missiles can only get you so far before you officially run out of ammo for them. In fact, there's also a simple charge beam, which, by the way, you see that little meter there? That's your charge meter. Why is that there? It's completely unnecessary. Why can't I just hold the damn shoot button and then have it charge? It didn't have to be like this. I like the fact that I can switch my beam weapons and my missiles. Honestly, that's just a complete standard. But other than that, this is not it. When it comes to like Metroid games, or hell, Metroid games, let's just, for example, Crisis Point Extinction or any other Metroid, like, I had the feeling whenever I go into a room of, if I play my cards right, I can really fuck this place up. But here, it's more of a, if I can play my cards right, I can at least get to the save point. Overall, I really do not recommend this game. This game's difficulty, and keep in mind, this is not just a skill issue. People in the F95 forums had the general consensus of this game is way too difficult for its own good. And it really shouldn't have been the case. All that this game really needed was some minor tweaking, make the enemies less tanky and less stingy with item pickups, and this game I would have given at least a slight recommendation to. But other than that, this game is really not it. This game, like, just get a CG rip of this game and you should be good to go. Until then, everyone, good night and good luck.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, share it with your friends, subscribe, and hit the bell for both uploads and community post. Also be sure to follow Overlord on X and Pixiv.